Okay, and welcome back to Little Moon Tarot. And yeah, Mr. Fish is no more. Mr. Fish is now, well, Ernie hath unstuffed Mr. Fish. We like to keep the kill on the floor for about 2 to 3 days, eases Ernie's anxiety, and then I just clean it up and, give a good sweep. So that's why there's stuffing on the floor, because this is a two hot dog household. And two cat household. It is a home of pets. Anyway, just like everybody else's. No difference. No different between anything else. So, how are you all today? I have some spirit that needs to get something out. Been giving me some anxiety, not quite sure why. Not quite sure what's going on. There's been some odd energies outside. The leaves on the trees, they're all cupping upwards, which means that there's going to be a storm, some rain, and I don't know how long, but even I can feel it. Ernie can feel it. If you have very sensitive dogs, they'll feel the difference in the storms and the weathers and the whatnot. Ernie is a really great predictor of a good storm coming on. He always is. Also, these cards, I started shuffling them and I took them outside of the deck, and they did not want to leave my side. They just would not let me take them out of my hands. I know that might sound silly to some people, but if you are sensitive or you do tarot, you'll understand what I'm saying. It's that feeling of, I don't think I want to put these down yet, but yet I kind of want to put them down, but I really don't. And then it's like that feeling of when a little kid wants to hold your hand and they're just it's dark going up the staircase to the bedroom, but the light switches upstairs, or maybe the downstairs bulb broke, but so you have to go up, whatever the situation is. When you've gone to your grandmother's house on the weekend, there's always a different scenario as to why the stairs are dark. And usually it's just because honestly, it's because in my grandmother's house, although there was a light switch upstairs to turn a light off, the light was downstairs. So the light was downstairs. You walked up the steps into darkness, and then you had to reach your hand into the bathroom to turn on the light because everything was dark. So that was scary. And then you could turn off the light downstairs. So there was no upstairs light. So that was, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like that. Anyway, I digress. So we have a Knight of Wands. Notes of Valor. It is a red, I'm going to call it a red cross. The number 45, the order denotes honor and recognition of labor. Near 48, a sure sign of business success. So this is saying that you are getting honors. You have done a task. The Knight, I'm gonna look up the Knight of Wands. Wait, did I did. Hey, I actually pretty much got everything. I even have the hoodie on because I opened up the window. Yesterday, the crows were just all the whole murder was just cawing everywhere, and maybe it's 6:30 at night, but they've been quiet all day today, and I hear the birds go again. I love birds. I love birds so very, very much. But I like small birds. Small birds that don't scream. Small birds that don't scream. And I want a little blue one. I want a little blue parrotlet. That's what I want. That will be my when I'm ready in the next 3 years, I may or may not get one. We will see. You will see what happens. But that is a thought, not a right now. So the Knight of Wands. Okay. And I got my glasses. Okay. So the suit of wands itself represents initiative, ambition, drive, and desire. This is the suit of enterprise and risk-taking. This character is traditionally called the knight, but in some modern decks appears as the prince. Traditionally, this card indicates the energy of an instigator, a fire starter, a feisty and easily provoked character who is liable to attack first and ask questions later. This energy is quick to anger and enjoys a fight. So much so that the thought of a diplomatic solution can provoke a secret disappointment. Nevertheless, he sees himself as trying to help, rescuing the world from its madness by imposing his sense of order upon it. And you know, sometimes when you're neurodivergent, you see things a certain way, and it's your order of how it's supposed to go together. But in reality, to somebody else, it actually goes in order this way. And then when other people are asked, it goes in. So sometimes when we're neurodivergent, as I am, we have to step back and go, this is my Vulcan logic order for it, but let's logically think about it. You know, yes, we put them in order of smallest to tallest, or tallest to smallest, or whatever makes you happy. But are they in numerical order? And what is the one that is the most important for the job we're doing right now? Numerical order. So that is the one we have to do. You know, sometimes we have to step back and realize that our sense of order is not always the correct one. And sometimes it can be one of the senses of order, like, yes, you can, like say with the example I just gave, yes, you can put it in order of height, of large to small. You can put, you know, maybe there are numbers next to it and you can put it in numerical. Maybe after that there are letters next to it and you can put it in alphabetical, you know? There are many different ways that you can do it, you know? And then there's just in general putting it in the way that you want to. But sometimes there's an order that it has to follow. And your order that you want to follow may not necessarily be the order that it needs to go in. Okay? Does that make sense? His vices are bossiness, paranoia, and a tendency towards overkill. Nevertheless, there are times when his energy is perfectly appropriate, like when his assertively protective nature is defending threatened treasures, or interfering with dark forces. The trick is to keep a sense of proportion when this knight unleashes his fire, because he enjoys Christmas Eve. Because he enjoys intense experiences and is always ready to take it to the next level. Once in a while, this kind of intensity is called for, but on a daily basis, it is exhausting. Christmas Eve. Excuse my language. We have the eye on the bottom. That just, like, I'm sitting here reading this and I'm like, yeah, is the eye on the bottom? And I turned it up and I was like, ah! You know, it's like when you realize you stepped in a snail and like you're extra grossed out. And just so you know, it's Dawn. Dawn dish detergent. You gotta wash your foot with Dawn. I didn't mean to step on the snail. I was being brave and going in a backyard without shoes on, which is not something that this neurodivergent chickadee-roo dude does at all. So, yeah, voice is so unmasked today, that's not even funny. My crows are back. See, I was saying earlier they weren't cawing. Oh my God, now they're like flying everywhere. Now they're cawing. Cawing. I don't know. I guess I'm on the accent area. Anyway, I digress. So I don't want to take it out. All right, but I'm putting it over there for now. But yeah, I totally just lost all train of thought. But yeah, sometimes the order that you want things to go in are not the order that is needed in this moment. It is not the order needed in this moment. Okay. So, what else are we here to say about this? This knight. He's got medals. When the Knight of Wands is reversed, it indicates a powerful desire for change and transformation, which others may neither understand nor agree with. Take time to listen to them and try to comprehend why they disagree with you, even though you are anxious to get moving. I was just curious what reverse would be. So, okay. And the Death card on the bottom. We've got number 45 and then number 8, abundance surrounds you. And of course, death means change, so oh my God. So I was sitting here shuffling a few minutes ago, and then I stopped and I reshuffled my cards and I resplit them. And then on the bottom, I felt like I should look at the bottom, and it was the Death card. And then I'm like, wait, what was the Jack reversed? What was the Knight reversed? When the Knight of Wands is reversed, it indicates a powerful desire for change and transformation, which others may neither understand nor agree with. So my little butterfly, not quite sure what you're doing and how you're changing. We have the Lady. Number 18. The card represents the lady whose fortune is being told, and all other cards affect it to a degree, in accordance to the relative proximity. When a lady's fortune is being told, number 19 has no significance in the layout. Now, she sort of kind of came upside down. These don't come upside down often, but like lately I've actually, because of the design, you know, if you've got a whole bunch of them going like that and you're me, that's going to drive me out of my mind. So I just keep them like that. But this one completely flipped over. I've been finding flipped ones in there. So there is a change going on. It's like the knight has reshuffled the deck. Like when he was upright, right? The upright meaning is a knight who is too strong. And then that brings me to Moonstruck, strong on himself. Sorry, I apologize. Yes, traditionally this card indicates the energy of an instigator, a fire starter, a feisty and easily provoked character who is liable to attack first and ask questions later. And this person is instigating a reshuffling of the cards to turn upside down because he's looking for change. And the death card is what? The death card doesn't mean actual death, it means a change. And I believe the 10 of coins talks about a change as well. Let me double check on that because I love these cards because they are often very close to what the minor arcana is. So if you're new to tarot, this is such a, and it doesn't matter if you get this deck or US Games deck, just look at the differences in the two decks and see which one is going to work better for you. I like this one because the pictures, you know, everything is fairly equal size. I guess the other ones are smaller. But you can look them up online on YouTube and it'll show you. But, you know, everything is kind of close. So yeah. The 10 of this suit represents the final result of cumulative efforts, perhaps after generations of effort resulting in such abundance that it directly and indirectly supports a lot of people. One layer of meaning refers to the pride of supporting your own lineage of well-loved souls. Imagine a flow of abundance, resources so abundant that you are filled with not only pride, but self-respect and gratitude. Such bounty can impact the destiny of many families and generations. Nobility obligates is nobility obligates its possessors. I think so, there's a typo in here somewhere. And the obligation must be passed down from generation to generation, along with the abundance and freedom. So whoever this person is who has been the instigator, who's been the fire starter, oh my God, what's that song? Fire starter. That song just came in my head. Fire starter. And I think the lead singer passed away a few years back, before COVID. I often you know, if you've grown up watching the second Mad Max, Beyond the Thunderdome, long, long ago when the way far back starts to really mean something. Anyway, I digress because lovely, lovely Firestarter. What is this song? I know this song and I love this band, but I cannot remember their name. Prodigy! Yes! Firestarter. Oh, I love that song. I like Prodigy. Listen, I like polka and I like death metal and reggae and country. I like it all except for Ace of Base and other racist music. And yes, Ace of Base. I hate to be the broad bearer of bad news, but a little Aryan. And that is actually not me being whatever. That's actually proven. Like, you can actually look it up and you can find the proof of it, and it is true. As a matter of fact, it's actually an issue. But this knight wants change now. Did feel, yeah, that's way too many cards. Are you joking? Yeah, no, that's way too many cards, friend. Way too many cards, my love. Yeah, and that would actually be a mess, to be very honest with you. But this Knight of Wands wants change. They're noticing that what they're doing is not suiting them any longer, and they are desiring change. And that brings us to the number 18, the Two of Coins reversed. Now let's take a look at that one. And I will put Prodigy in the album of channeled songs, because I keep track of them in case anybody wants to listen to the playlist. The Two of Coins reversed suggests that you let go of passivity. If this is a time for action, you may be displaying too much ambivalence about outcomes, much to your detriment. A neutral stance or procrastination will not serve you here. You must move into proactive support for the good of all concerned and leave passivity behind. At the very least, assert your personal preference as a sign of respect for any others who also display the courage of their convictions. Okay, I'm going to save the advice position until I know exactly where this is going. And I'm actually going to put you back in. Doug is making noises. Him just making little, I don't know what noises he's making. Looking for change. So you're seeing that you can no longer be the instigator. You can no longer be the star. Which is funny because, first of all, the Six of Wands is victory, but the star reminds me of Black Star, who is that's just funny. Oh my god, seriously, I should just rename this Anime Moon Tarot. So the Six of Wands is victory, right? And what is Black Star? If you've ever watched, no. That's weird. And if you've ever watched Soul Eater, you'll know Black Star is a joker, but not in the bad sense. This has got the Black Star on it. It's got two of them. He's always the winner, right? Always. He always wins. Even when it's his fault and it all gets screwed up, he's still the winner, right? Well, so is this guy. This guy's the instigator. And he's realizing, the way that eventually Black Star did, that he can't keep doing that, and he needed to change. And he needed to change in the way, and spoilers, that his family, that they couldn't change. So it does break, this change does break generational bonds that have been doing the same thing forever and ever and ever and ever. Because the Two of Wands is saying, give yourself the time you need to sort out your feelings and any mixed messages you may be receiving from others, which means that you yourself, who used to be an instigator like Black Star, thinking you were always the victor, are realizing, turning upside down and realizing that you need to have change, but you're also realizing that, let me see if I've got this right. It's getting your messages straight. It's understanding what is truth and what isn't truth. It's you are realizing you can't live this way anymore. You are turning upside down, and you need to change, because this isn't working anymore. And like, it's kind of like you're on the start. Like, it's like you've just started rolling. It's like you've just started the change. You're very new in the change, and you're trying to figure out, because you've realized that what you've been told isn't true, and now you're trying to figure out what's a mixed message. What's a mixed message? Oh, hello, my tiny little black minion of darkness. Hello. Hello, sure. You're trying to figure out what is real. You see there's a problem. All right, get to go in bed with, sir. Thank you very much. You know there's a problem. Almost feels. Of course, we are that friendly community here. Okay, sir, we cannot do this any longer. Please and thank you. Please move your butt. Thank you. I appreciate you. You have a whole cat tree over there. And a whole box. You got 2 boxes. And 2 open windows in this beautiful breeze. Love, darling. So yeah. It's like you're in the beginning of this change of realization. And you're trying to figure out what is true, what is not true. It's like, please, I'm asking you, and this is now the 3rd time. I appreciate you and I thank you. You've got a box. You could have cuddled with me all afternoon. There was all night in bed. Like it's not like you're not going to cuddle with me in 20 minutes. Love you. Love him. Love him. Love him. But we all know that Oscar does the same exact thing. So listen, they just, and let's face it, I'm doing this on the floor because, it's the better place. So you're trying to figure out what is and isn't true is basically what's going on. So if you watch Soul Eater, if you watch anime, you'll understand the Black Star reference. And this will make you confident like Black Star. Just don't be as cocky. Approaching your enemies silently means you're not saying out loud everything you're doing as you're climbing a mountain. You know what I'm saying? Oh, goodness, my back itches. of my back where, oh yeah, I am going to reach it because learned how many years ago it's itching. So whatever that means for you, it means. So and they just said you are winning. You are winning. You are 100% winning. Because you are Black Star, which is basically what it comes down to, is you are Black Star, but you are Black Star without Tsubaki. You are Black Star out of control, and you are realizing that if you want something different, a partner, job, kids, it doesn't matter what it is, you have to change. But of course, part of changing is understanding what is true and what isn't true, because if you're going from, like I always say on here, we are friendly, we are LGBTQ plus friendly, and if you are in the comments and you are spewing hate, please stop. But if you are in the comments and it sounds like hate and you actually have a question and you just don't know how to appropriately word it, great. Please, we will educate you. We will be kind. And if you answer in a way that might not seem great, we're going to answer you kindly. That way, you're educated. You're getting knowledge, just like eventually we will gain knowledge from you, right? Right? But before you can understand that we accept you as you are, you have to... God, I can't... Do you really want me to say it like that? You kind of have to unbrainwash yourself and step back. And it's not... it is kind of. It's basically going back and re-examining everything that you know and asking, is this correct? Like, is this really good? Is this healthy? Should I not like these people? Like, I mean, they seem really nice. I mean, this seemed kind of nice. I mean, I had a flat tire and, this black guy stopped, didn't ask me, just nicest guy in the whole wide world. I tried to give him $20 because he ran down for gas to get, and he said, no, just pay it forward. And I don't know how to react to that. I mean, this is, so you're trying to figure out who's lying and who is not. You're trying to figure that out here. But you're also the winner. You are also Black Star, and you will do the research and find out, because you're very, very dedicated to that, because you really want to know that. Because for you, this change feels like it's, like, I want to cry. Like, this change feels important. Like, I'm going to say it this way. This can have many layers, right? Shifting a leg. This can have many layers, but one of the first layers I felt was somebody, because this was upside down, and it's the lady, and this was death, and this is the cocky knight. It almost made me feel like it was somebody who was transitioning and trying to undoctrinate themselves from everything they've been told about the LGBTQ, like somebody doesn't want me to speak this. Oh, if for confirmation, they don't want this person to be able to speak this truth so that they can see what is and isn't the lies. Because they're realizing that this may not be the body, the right body. Like, you know what I'm saying. And they're trying to, because there is a point where there is that starting flux of realizing, okay, because it starts with a question. I know for myself, when I was very young, it did start with the question, because I liked a lot of boy stuff. And I had a very open household where we were watching Donahue, that always had trans people on it and gay people on it. And there was never any distinguishing difference between humans in my mom's family and in our little together home. It was just, you were human. It didn't matter what you looked like. It didn't matter who you were or who you loved. It mattered your actions. And that was, It's not what you see and hear, it's what you say and do. So there comes a point where there's like a beginning point of, and I said to myself, I said, well, am I a boy? I really like Hot Wheels, love Indiana Jones, I like all this boy stuff. And I realized, no, I'm a girl. I just really want boys' toys too. And that's the way it is. I'm a girl. I am in love with Hello Kitty, and I would like to dress in Harrison Ford's wardrobe and smoke his weed. It is literally that easy. But for some people, they weren't raised in houses where they could have those questions as children, or even teenagers, or as adults, and have whatever the answer is accepted. So they are on a journey. This is probably somebody in their early 20s, around the age of a knight, who is questioning their, could be possibly questioning their gender. So they are trying to indoctrinate themselves so that they can see where the truth is and who the lie is, okay? That was like my big first impression on that. And it wouldn't shock me if they really, really like Soul Eater, like Krona. They might even identify. I don't know why, but I don't know. There's like a character in there they like. God, I love Sid so much. But that was my initial. But there, I mean, this could be anybody. This could be anybody coming out of anything, trying to indoctrinate themselves and figure out what the truth is. And you know, the truth is very important. You know, especially when you're cocky, because if you're really cocky, you sometimes, you think before you do, is basically what it does. And often that is what the Knight of Wands does. He's doing before he's thinking, you know. He's setting the forest on fire before he's realizing that, oh yeah, it's been a dry summer, we're gonna torch everything up, you know. So Spirit, what else do we have here? Yeah, and the way that these cards just didn't want to leave my side, it was odd. And you know, this person might be realizing too that they're not necessarily trans, but that they're non-binary. And the moon and back. Love you too, moon and back. 5 of Cups, 5 of Hearts, the number 2. Sidekick. Number 2, next to the 2 of Coins. Isn't that rather interesting? Alright, so we've got the moon. When near is a good omen. It predicts fortune. In distance, it exposes exposure of your secrets. You know, and therein lies the duality too, where I could ask the question freely, and even if I had said to my mom, do you think I'm a boy? My mom wouldn't have laughed it off, because she was also a nurse. She would have said, well, you know, I don't know. What do you think? Do you think you're a boy? Well, I don't know. Well, all right. Well, if you decide you're a boy, just let me know, okay? All right. Because we have been watching Phil Donahue from a very young age, and I saw all the trans people on there, and they didn't seem any different to me than anybody else. This could be because I am neurodivergent and I am Vulcanly logic. Oh my God, I'm going to have to get a Spock tattoo, aren't I? Maybe I need a Hello Kitty Spock tattoo. Who is to say? But that's not this year or next year. Maybe the year after. And I get my little un poquito. But, you know, and number 2 is also keep the faith. So, this card upside down is short memory. is saying, ask yourself, are all the facts in yet? Or is the coin still flipping in the air? There is no need to be goaded into premature decisions or actions. Act only when you are able to do so with a unified heart and mind. This is saying, you've begun this journey and you're trying to indoctrinate yourself. You're trying to see what the truth is. This is also the number 2, which means keep the faith. And the moon, which is also number 2, which is more keep the faith, and the 5, which is changes are coming, changes are in store. And your 6 is balance, and then your 10 is the new beginnings personified. So, with the death card, that always means a change. It doesn't mean death. And let's face it, any sensitive who tells you about any upcoming death, my cards won't let me let them out of my hand. But at the end of the day, it's one thing to say, hey, make sure so-and-so's health is in order. It's another thing to say, on February 7th, 2083, your Uncle George is going to die. You don't, you don't do that. Even if you do kind of know that, which you're probably never going to know that. But I'm not going to doubt the sensitive who does, because maybe some people have that gift. If someone were to tell me that, or I get the inclination of it, I'm not going to tell somebody. I'm going to, say watch your health, but I'm not going to say, oh yeah, you're going to die in 6 months. No, not going to do that. Not going to do that. And then there's the line of fate too. Sometimes things have to happen the way that they do, even if we don't like it. And even I have to accept those terms. Coffee. Yes, with chocolate. So, I want to look up the 5 of Cups. Because I believe the 5 of Cups is 3 cups have fallen and 2 cups remain. And if it's upright, it's you're so obsessed about these 3 cups that have fallen that you have forgotten the 2 cups that have remained. Yeah. And again, it's another card of cross-generational legacy of tragedies. It's just, maybe there were other, like if you are gay and say you came from a highly religious background and you're realizing, oh, I'm 18 and I just got married to my high school sweetheart and I am not attracted to her, and you're realizing that you've seen the conversion camps, which are horrific, and this is just this, you can't, and so now you're doing that journey. Okay? You may have had, like, you might be sitting there and you might be thinking about, because I'm 52. Oh, gosh, I'm loud. I'm 52 right now, okay? So I have to remember I'm not in my 20s anymore, so I can't go back that far. But you might be sitting there realizing that, your mom's brother is gay, or maybe they're trans, or non-binary, or neurodivergent, undiagnosed, and nobody will diagnose them. They just ignore it. And you're realizing that they're unhappy. They got married, never had any kids. Or maybe they did and they don't look like the uncle. And you're realizing that that's not the life that you want. You love God, you love this, you love that, but that's not the life that you're doing, that you want, and you are learning about the truth and indoctrinating yourself because it's time, It's time to mend that. And now let's face it, if you are, what, and then that was Doug. He might be having a bad dream. Depending upon your family dynamic, excuse me, in background, you know, as the Five of Cups represents upright, it uprights the fact of you're mourning these 3 cups and ignoring the 2 cups you have. But the problem is if this is your situation, the 3 cups you're mourning are probably people that you're not going to talk to anymore because you can't do what they want you to do. You can't be who they want you to be because that is just not healthy for you. And you don't have to be what they want you to be. You be what you want to do. And if that means that you transition fully, great. If that means that you're happy transitioning partially, great. You do you. You do you, boo-boo, as I always say. You know, you do it for you the way it makes you feel the most comfortable. But you are going to mourn those cups. It doesn't mean you're not going to turn around, because you see, this also is the number 2. It's keep the faith. So you know those 2 cups are behind you. Something about the moon showing in the water. It's just, it's going to be a heavy loss. And you know, this person here may be extra cocky in front of other people because they know that they feel like the 2 of coins reversed. They know they feel like this. They know that they feel different than other people, no matter what that difference is. Okay? Whether it's, because I've always been neurodivergent, but I just didn't realize how neurodivergent. Like, I'm not joking. Like, I would not have, if they knew how neurodivergent I am, if they knew when I was going to school in the 70s that I was autistic, they would have had me in totally different classes. I never would have been in the classes that I needed to be in, okay? Not that I didn't skip school and not that I got the best grades, but that was only due to I couldn't get out of bed. It was too, literally, it was just, I wanted to watch my soap operas. But at the end of the day, one of the biggest things for me was that it really was just too early. I needed to sleep till like 9:30, 10 o'clock. My body needed that because I had trouble falling asleep, which meant that, you know, I was awake for 3 to 4 hours and then falling asleep, and I was never getting enough sleep. So, but, you know, they never would have allowed me to be in the classes I needed to be in. That helped me grow. Anyway, so it could be something like that too, where you're realizing, okay, all right, the reason why I'm having trouble with this job, the reason why I'm feeling like this is I am neurodivergent, and now you've started doing the research and you're finding out the truth and the lies, and that too will send you into your 5 of Cups. Because what that does is it starts like this, because this is all layers, right? It can start like, I know with myself, when I realized it started like a mini depression, like a mini depressive episode where it was like my brain was trying to figure it out, and then once it figured out, it started going, that is neurodivergent, and that is autism, and that is ADHD. And the fact that you want to scream in the middle of the Aldi's when I saw that Hello Kitty blanket is autism. It is that reaction, that cuteness, aggression is autism. And for me it is. And it goes with very loud noises and actions, and I myself personally have learned to keep those in. This is the reason, as I have stated before, I do not go to the Sanrio store. There are places I don't go in this world because I know I will scream in the middle of the store, throw up, and there won't be enough money for me to buy everything I want to, so we just don't go there, you know? Maybe someday I can, No, because just like the thought of going to the Sanrio store is like taking me, I have to refocus. So, You do lose your cups. You do sit there and you start realizing, my God, if I just didn't know this, I would be fine, because I was kind of fine before. But yet, at the same time, you needed to understand that the reason why you don't want to go to your friend's party isn't that you don't love them. It's that you just don't feel comfortable in their house. You love them dearly. They're your best friend. But, and this is not true of my best friend, because I always feel comfortable in my friends' homes. But you know, you don't feel comfortable going. You don't like one person, and you know, that's when that starts to slip in, and you're like, oh, that's what it is. That's really hard. That's hard to deal with. It's hard to deal anytime, like if you have someone who you're realizing they're drinking, you know, maybe you realize, maybe you're like 15, 16, and if you are, you should definitely not be on this channel. But you're realizing, or maybe when you were 15 or 16, you realized that, you know, maybe one of your parents was an alcoholic and it was being hidden. I mean, there's so much stuff that can make us go into our cups and mourn the loss of the things that we had, you know? And it's very easy to sit at camp and forget about the 2 cups that you have behind you. So, let's see. Let's see what we've got here. Doug makes noises. Ernie is, I think he is. Oh, he's right there. Hi, nerds. Hi, sirs. What are you doing? Careful. You gonna step over? And move all the... Oof. Careful. You go ahead. You got it. Here. Oof. Okay, go ahead. Move. Move. And do your thing. Thank you. Okay, keep it down now. Keep your butt down. Yeah. And that's why there's so much fur everywhere. So... So what else have we got here? So whoever you are, keep searching. Keep searching for the truth, because it doesn't hurt to see every single outlet. Just know what doesn't sound truthful. If you're going to the Epic Times, that is propaganda. That is not real. And there are other people who are not real that I will not be mentioning, because, yeah. Matter of fact, I'm actually starting to wonder if they blocked me. Listen, you can't handle the truth, you can't handle the truth. All I know is it's unfair to say that children don't know that they're trans. And don't be trans and say that. Please, I have enough friends who are trans, and we have talked about when they knew. I mean, one of my dearest friends I met when they were a teenager. And I just love this human to pieces. They and their spouse are just the sweetest, dearest people to me. So it's like, I mean, obviously some people don't know. I mean, if you're like this person and you're raised in, like, I was just told, cult, and that can be true. That doesn't, and by when I say that, I don't mean like, you could be raised in certain ologies, among other things, like, you know, SPTV, yada yadas, and be so indoctrinated that you don't realize this is going on until you're like, wait a minute. And you may not have even had an inkling as a child. That's fine, but it's not fair to say that other people don't. Not when there's proof that there are people that do. And why are these keeping on turning upside down on their own? It's like weird. Because if it was me, like, it would be like a significant amount of them, but it's not. I'm just going to leave them. Oof. We got the Two of Swords, number 34. The star ensures success in all enterprises. I know. You got your lamb. That's beautiful. Don't. No. Don't jump up. You can go on the stairs, though. Why don't you go on the stairs? Yes. The star ensures success in all enterprises when near, when very distant, some unlucky events. And that's the Two of Swords. And let's look up the Two of Swords. Two of Swords. The two in the suit usually represents conflicting ideas or visions. These must be reconciled by communication in order to arrive in a harmonious place or to complete strategic negotiations. Mixed signals prevail. While they may be appearing to try to communicate, opposite sides are missing each other entirely, with possibly drastic consequences. In the best case, a frank discussion would clear the error and serve both sides, but one cannot expect that in every instance where this card appears. So that does tell me that this is not a person who has, whether you are an adult or you are of the age of teen, that should definitely probably not be on here because, yeah. Although I'm not saying anything. I would have been that teen on here, 100%. And nothing I'm saying right now would have bothered me whatsoever at all. So you know. If you're here, you're here for a reason. But if you're a teenager, it's probably not the best place for you. But this person, they don't come from, like I said, I had a very open, with my mom, a very open family dynamic of, I could have gone to my mom at 16 and said, I think I like girls. And my mom would have said, okay, all right. That would have been the end of the story. My grandmother, I mean, this is the family I came from when, now we're talking the early 90s, like 92, when my bestie's mom came over to talk to her about her child being gay. My grandmother said, it's a choice. You do, let them, whatever. The woman is nearly 80 years old. And I think for the early 90s, just even saying it was a choice, just being, you've got to love him. He's your son. It's a choice. Let him do it. It's not like it's going to hurt anything. Like, we're literally her words and her sentiment. I mean, the only wrong thing there is choice. And I think in 1992, for somebody who is nearly 80 years old, I'm not complaining about that. Because I know if she had lived 10 more years, she would have realized it wasn't a choice, because that's the kind of person she was, and she grew and she changed as she grew. She grew and she changed as she aged. The same thing with my grandfather. You cannot say that for everybody in my family, and that is actually something that it might be too, where you're going to be in your cups because some family members are going to go with you and some family members are not. And it's a good chance, especially if you're in like a locked sort of, this is our view and this is the only view and no other view will do sort of thing, it's a good chance that even these family members will be shunned. But it's your courage that will help them break away. Ooh, wrong one. Because at the end of the day, like I was previously saying, this is not an open family dynamic. This is a very closed-minded family dynamic. This, and I don't think it's like the kind of thing where you're bringing somebody of another culture home, although uh, put it where you need to put that. You know, if you identify with that, that's fine. But it's like, this is not an open family dynamic. One of their kids coming out as gay or possibly being autistic or trans will be like the end of their world. Like, oh my God, how do we tell our friends at the country club or down at the bingo or over there at the bar or at the whatever, like, how do we tell them that our kid is gay, because like nobody here believes in it, right? And that is like the oddest thing. I only set fire to one of the incenses, but it's like, interesting. Um, so this is not an open family dynamic. And you can sit there and say, listen, you can sit there and say, I was born a boy till the cows come home. But when I close my eyes and I think of myself, I am not a boy. I do not have those body parts, and I don't want to have those body parts anymore. They are never going to understand what you're saying, because they're always going to be going this way. Your conversations are always going to be going this way. You're always going to be missing it because they don't want to hear it. And they're too indoctrinated in their beliefs to even understand what you're saying. Oh, because these are people who, because of this this I want to call it indoctrination. Yeah, because there's a church and they have their heart in the church. They think the fool, they're thinking they're falling into safety, but they're not actually, because this church is also the tower, which has lots of crashes, which breaks people's hearts. I mean, and of course, the Joker also represents a little bit of narcissism too. And often, a lot of times in these structures, there is that to keep people in these structures. So the fact that you are reversing and realizing that you can't instigate things anymore, you can't be this person, because there needs to be a change, and you're ready to change because you are a black star. Because you're just, it doesn't matter what you are or who you are, you're just always going to have that black star soul. I don't know what that means, but it's like this, I'm the winner. I'm a winner. I'm going to get 99 Keishan souls for you, Tsubaki, and I'm a winner. And that's, just how you are. And you're realizing that, yeah, it's okay to be a winner, but at the same time, something is different and you need to change because something doesn't feel right anymore. Something doesn't feel right. And you're right in the beginning of these feelings. You're very much so in the beginning of like putting them together and figuring it out and going like, I would say that you are nearly to the acceptance stage. You just have a little bit more to go through, because this is the act of the Two of Swords. Here is the act of talking to people, talking to like mom and dad about the fact that, hey, I think I'm gay, or hey, I think I'm non-binary, or hey, whatever, it's that's what the Two of Swords is. And I'm hoping and praying that they understand. I truly am. But it won't be shocking when they do. Yet at the same time, we also have another two, and we have 3 2s in a row here. And for some of you, They will listen to you. They will hear you. They may even go to their pastor and talk to them about it, and they may tell them that they have to shun you, dependent upon your church and how strict they are. And your parents might look at them and go, yeah, I'm not doing that. No, I saw what it did to so and so. I'm not doing it. You know, they did it to their family. It's the most horrible thing I've ever seen. I've seen their kid. They're doing great. I talk to them all the time. And, you know, once you meet some gay people and you start realizing, oh, they're just like us. They're not going to make out in front of us. No, they're not going to make out in front of you. Like, why people have that idea? Like, nobody is going to make out in front of you unless they have a kink to make out in front of you, or there's, you know, something. Oh, yeah. The stork denotes, and that's another 20, that's another 21. And the 7 for spiritual growth. The stork denotes change of residence for the better, sooner or later, according to the distance from which it lies from the person. So this is someone who, at the end of the day, this is not a household that's open. So, yes, there will be families who are accepting because they've met gay people and they've gotten to know them, and they're not going to listen to the pastor. That is not this family. Although there is always that, I'm afraid that this is what's going to happen, and then, you know, you talk to your parents, it's the opposite. This is not that. This is, these people are realizing what is going on. They are almost to their 5 of cups, if not in their 5 of cups. And they're learning. Their brain is realizing, regulating, taking in the information and the download, and basically what it's doing is it's updating the computer brain. It's updating, and it takes a while for the brain to do that, to come to terms with all the new information, to place it where it needs to go, and at least this is what I find. And so that creates great sadness, you know. And then you've got to talk to your parents or the people in your life that need to know this, and they're not going to understand. They're not going to understand. And before you do this, if you have the ability to move, I would start making arrangements now, like get an apartment now, because they may tell you that if you go through with gender affirming surgery or start doing gender affirming care, that you can no longer live in their home. And if you say, well, I'm going to because I want life and I want to be happy, don't be surprised if right then and there you are told you can't come home. So if I were you, see about moving, start packing your stuff, start doing whatever. Now, if it's, you know, the opposite where, oh yeah, parents are great, whatever, then it doesn't matter. But that is not this. That is not this. This is, you already know. You already know. But you're going to tell them anyway and hope that they will be different. There will be a different reaction than what you actually think. And maybe someday they will change their minds. But until that point in time, you know, there isn't a lot that can be done. The birds are chirpy outside tonight. So, you know, if it's gonna sound so old, yeah, get trucking, right? So if you know a friend that needs a roommate, or you know, you're talking with a friend and they're like, you know, you should probably start looking for a place, do it. Like, if you can live on your own or move someplace, like go to college and whatever, just do it, you know? Because, and don't get me wrong, When this happens, okay, when this Two of Cups happens, and you have to move, you're going to be in your Five of Cups again. You are going to mourn the loss of these people because you love them, and it's fair to love them, and nobody can tell you that you shouldn't. You gotta love. You don't have to, but you do love these people. And uh, but after a while, because you see, you're already here doing the Black Star self work, right? You're already into the change field. So what's going to end up happening is you're going to realize that this is not normal. This is not normal at all. The way that your parents think, the way that their friends think, the way that they're acting, you're going to realize none of this is normal. And don't be surprised if whatever religion this is, that you stay in it because you find people within this value system that are accepting of you, who are not into this amount of indoctrination. Like they're not really into indoctrination at all. They just love God and Jesus, you know, or whomever it is that you pray to, or whatever, you know. Because this does feel fairly religious to me. And it is like too many cards, friend. Way too many cards. So, let's see. I'm gonna look that up too. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The Moon card refers to a deep state of sensitivity and imaginative impressionability developed within a womb of deep relaxation. Here we dream and go into trance, have visions and receive insight, wash in and out with the psychic tides, and experience deep mystical and or terrifying realities beyond our ordinary senses. In a state of expanded consciousness, we cannot always control what happens. The Moon card represents the ultimate test of a soul's integrity, where the membrane between the self and the unknown is removed and the drop of the individuality re enters the ocean of being. And what transpires next is between a soul and its maker. And that very much so goes along with the Five of Cups. Very, very well, actually. You know? Like I said, you're at a point now where your brain is trying to assimilate something. You're in your own little womb. You're realizing what is going on. You're mourning the loss of what you thought was real, and you're now going to be and you're now coming into the realization of what is the truth, and that you are now going to have to mourn the loss of these people here, because they're never going to go along with what you're saying. And it would be nice if someday one of your parents did, or both of your parents did, or if they chose to do the research. But no, we really can't actually count on that. We've got three twos here, 1 2 up there. That's a lot of keeping the faith, right? We've got changes are in store and spiritual growth. This is balance. Even in his darkest moments, Black Star is oddly balanced. Of course, he's balanced also because he's got Tsubaki. So maybe this means that that one of the things that are going to be the catalyst for this change. My goodness, they're really chirping out there, or bickering, squabbling. The one of the things that keeps Black Star balanced is the fact that Tsubaki understands him. So maybe what is the catalyst for this change, this thing that you always kind of knew was different, is the fact that maybe you find that person that actually balances you out. and it's like, oh, whatever, and you're, really realizing it. And this doesn't have to be somebody that you're romantically involved with. This can be like you're working an odd job at the mall at the pretzel factory, and one of the guys that comes in is gay or trans or neurodivergent or whatever, or atheist, and you're realizing, oh, okay, yeah, I this all makes sense now. And this is going to be the person that's helping to regulate you. And might you fall in love with them? Maybe there will be a little romance, who's to say? Or maybe it will just be a really, really amazing friendship for the rest of your life that you keep in contact with, because the social media is a thing, and this person like literally answered your questions instead of being an asshole. Like, if you went up to this person privately and went, "How do you know you're gay?" Like because let's face it, a lot of people don't have tact. And he goes, "Well, I just kind of always knew," and whatever the answer is going to be. And that makes you think, that makes you come back, that makes you answer a question, and you can develop a friendship that way of, now you're walking around the mall on your break and you're talking about different things, and you're finding out things that you like and things that you have in common, and maybe even date for a little bit and be friends. But who is to say? Maybe you have secretly dated other people before this, or yada yada, but this person really makes you realize that, oh no, I am definitely this. Like, I totally associate with this. And this could even be a friend of somebody's or whatever. Like, that, you know, doesn't always necessarily, well, no, this feels like somebody that you're going to meet, but it could also be some, in a rare instance, like a friend of theirs that always hangs around. Some of us always have that. Like, I used to work at a bakery, and my best friend's husband used to hang around. They weren't even married yet. They're so stinking cute. They're still stinking adorable. I'm telling you right now. She was so cute. She was going to, yeah. Mm. Ace of Swords. Swords cut through things in order to pierce illusions, to differentiate between fantasy and reality. In the image of the ace, a single upraised sword represents your prime motive or guiding ideal, the vision that guides you through life's changing fortunes and single-minded clarity. The sword is sometimes shown piercing a silver and or a laurel crown, a symbol of optimism implying evolution, progress, a sense of hope and victory. It is occasionally shown pointed downwards, a darker message which refers to sacrifice, challenges, and a critical environment. And although, and the fact of the matter is, these are pointed down, so it does truly does point to a critical environment. However, it also does point to the fact that it's a symbol of optimism, implying evolution, progress, a sense of hope and victory. So although there is going to be um, sacrifice and challenge, there's also going to be optimism and hope, because they're telling me where one bad thing ends, a good thing begins. So, yeah, you're going to lose some family members, no matter who they are. But you're also gaining, you're going to gain a relationship, or you're going to gain a friend. You're going to gain yourself. You're going to gain who you are. And that's the point of all this. That's the point of all of this learning. That's the point of beginning to learn and question and step back and ask and truly do the changes and ask questions. I mean, you know, it's how you do the thing, right? And not everybody in your life is always going to be happy with that, especially family members and friends and people you've known for many years, especially if you're older. They're not always going to be happy because they're extraordinarily set in their ways, right? Okay, guys, too many cards. Because they're already set in their ways. And most of the time, the people that are set in their ways are the people who just don't want to learn any longer. Nine of Cups. Number 16, the ship is the symbol of riches, and when near, indicates wealth by inheritance or trade. It also foretells a voyage. That's what the Nine of Cups is. Hold on a moment. Let me just do that. There we go. Yeah. Nine of Cups means victory. The rewards of high achievement are not all monetary, however. This happiness also refers to the feelings of fulfillment that come from good service to the community and support of one's family, as well as gratitude for all the blessings in one's life. So, yeah, this is basically saying that, yeah, this is a big, hard change, but you're going to have success. Your ship is going to come in, you're going to win, and you are going to lose some people along the way, and that is really and truly an okay thing. It is really, really sad, and you are going to mourn this loss, and I'm not going to sit here and say it's not going to be sad, because I myself have gotten to a point where I don't talk to members of my own family. Not my parents, but others that I don't owe a thing to, is basically what it comes down to. And does it stink? Yes. Do I miss them? 100%. Do I miss whatever? Not at all. So my life is happier not having them in it, even though at the end of the day, I love them and I miss them. And you are allowed to have both emotions, and it is valid to have both emotions, you know? So, yeah, that's what they're telling me. They're telling me that you are at the beginning of a change. You are assimilating in, and eventually you are going to have to tell the people in your life, and they're not necessarily going to be happy. This can also be like if you're already married and you realize, oh, I need to transition because I'm not happy, and this is, you may lose that spouse that you're unsure if you're going to lose. You know, this is you are losing family because of this decision, but don't let this loss of family make you not choose to do this, because this is who you are. This is what's going to make you happy, and doing this is going to open up horizons for you, because even though you're going to lose some members of family, these are not people that are ever going to understand you, and they would rather you sit in a corner and collect dust like your uncle who is unhappy in a marriage, whose kids don't even look like him, and who knows what secrets he's hiding. Because, you know, his best friend goes to church with him. So you don't want to be in that situation, and that is a very, very fair. I'm trying to think of there's a movie I'm thinking of, and I can't remember what it is. It is not Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, although I do absolutely adore that movie. Just not water for chocolate. Not water. Is it water for chocolate? No. Better than chocolate. It's not better than chocolate. It is, I'll think of it eventually. But that is what's going on. And yes, you're going to lose people, but what you're going to gain and the community that you're going to gain is going to be a better family than the people who don't understand, are choosing not to understand, and would make you hide who you are, because these people are not going to let you hide. These people, if you say, oh, I think I want to do this because it's going to be better, and you know, pretending to be straight, I can't, they're going to be like, no, don't do that, don't do that, just be who you are, because everybody's going to find out eventually, or everybody's, just be who you are. You like to wear a polka dot suit, wear a freaking polka dot suit. Be you, boo boo. Be you, be you, be you, be you, be you, because there's only one you. So when you are going to look for your own aesthetic, completely wrong use of the word, remember the best aesthetic is you. The best core is you. You core is the best thing ever, because you core is all of the stuff that you like. It's your Hello Kitty, it's your anime, it's your pets, it's the mooses you like. You know, the different quirky stuff you have around your house, that's you core. And you be you, because being you is the most important thing in the whole wide world that you can be. And if that means that you are losing parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, whoever these people are, friends, then fine, because they're not worth having in your life. Because you need to be the Ace of Swords here. And you need that optimism. And yeah, there's going to be loss, but there's lots of optimism. And, you know, Nine of Coins is going to make sure that happens. You know. Your opposite, your Tsubaki. Your Tsubaki is going to make sure that happens for you. You know what I'm saying? That person that matches your energy, they're going to make sure, you know? So I think that's what we've got. I don't think I need to do any more. Unless Spirit has any last words, because we already know that because we already know that there's going to be misadventures and whatnot. All right. Wow. That's why this flipped up twice on me. The Ace of Wands in this position symbolizes a pivotal act or fateful step that will set loose a chain of events leading toward your desired goal. It refers to a birth or new beginning, the inauguration of an endeavor, and the building of the necessary commitment to see a project or plan through. It personifies an aroused will that is totally focused, aiming at the bullseye. So this is your goal fulfilled. And like this says, there's going to be a lot of dark passages. There's going to be a lot of enemies and misadventures, because you've already been that. You've been the cocky knight, right? You've been the cocky knight. And now it's that time to rediscover, and it's that time to take that fateful step that will set loose a change of events in your life. And that change of events is actually for the better. And this is going to be very sad, but this change of events for you is going to be so good. And I'm going to leave that here. And I will say good night, God bless you, and we love you. And as always, be good, behave, be happy, and be yourself.